name is Hugh Myles. I'm an administrator with Almost Home, which began 6 months ago as a Facebook group and has grown hugely. In that time, we take care of transporting animals basically that are in danger of being put to sleep, from pounds to rescue spaces or foster homes if we can get it, and ultimately to try and find permanent forever homes for them. 10,000 dogs were put down in Ireland last year by County Pounds, and we're just rolling up our sleeves and getting on with trying to reduce that number as much as we possibly can by using some common sense tools of finding out where there is a space for a dog to get to and simply putting him in a car and getting him transported down there.
I would have been aware of an awful lot of animal lovers in Ireland when I worked on a certain website, and there are people who are very, very passionate about it. What made you get involved in this? I mean, you could have easily ignored it.
Absolutely, and for 43 and a half years of my life I have ignored it. I have my own animals and always thought that was enough to be doing, but slowly, I think with the advent of Facebook, it's become much harder to hide from this stuff because a lot of your friends are posting videos and posters, and there's a lot of animal campaigning work being done on Facebook, and it's hard to avoid it. So it's more in your face now, and you feel a lot more guilt about it. This was an opportunity. A good friend of mine set up this group, and it was an opportunity to get involved on a practical level. And you don't just turn up if you want to help, you don't turn up at a rescue and say, here I am. Because they don't know you from Adam, so how did they trust you, and how will they take you in? So this was a way of, without the fear of rejection, I suppose is a way of putting it, you could start to work with a group of people who were all in the same boat, didn't have much experience, and just wanted to help in the simplest, most basic ways. And as it turns out, we discovered that the lack of transport from a pound to a space that would be there was getting dogs killed. Nobody thought that all we have to do is put the dog in a car and get it down to Kerry. The roads are full of cars. All we have to do is try and find people that are already travelling that don't mind a dog sitting in the back seat.
We're about 9.5 hours into 24 the web. I think it's 9.5 hours already.
I'm feeling every single one.
Oh really? So you arrived from Donegal.
Gortahawk in Donegal, yeah. I drove down yesterday and stayed in the night.
And then arrived in this big space today to be greeted by 7 people who said, we're going to build you a website. Has it been really interesting for you in the last few hours?
Well, I've learned how the word JavaScript was invented.
Right.
By all accounts, it's to do with the amount of coffee, the good coffee that they drink.
Okay.
Java is what they prefer, and that's how the word was invented.
Right.
I never knew that. Every day is a school day, as they say.
Yeah.
Yes, I have found it very interesting. Of course, it's very easy to get lost in a lot of the technical talk. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what something wire is.
Wireframe.
Wireframe.
Exactly.
I can't even remember the word.
Somebody else said that to me earlier as well.
But an incredibly helpful and nice bunch of people, and I was also very lucky in that I got a group of 7 people, 6 of whom work together already, so they've already got a really, really good team going on there.
Yeah, and your project manager's lovely as well.
Yeah, and they copped on fairly quickly that what we need is something that helps us in the actual work, as opposed to being an advertising site or a recruiting site or a donation site. This is something we're going to use as a tool to help us construct routes to link and help us to link beds, spaces with dogs.
Okay, brilliant. How many dogs have you helped so far, do you know?
We don't keep accurate figures, but we know we're well over 300 in 6 months. Yeah.
Wow! And there's that much demand for dogs and.
With dogs alone, we're shifting. We've shifted parrots, we've shifted horses, donkeys, a lot of cats. It's a huge cat problem in Ireland. And today we moved to chinchillas, which I never heard of before. They're little things like squirrels, but with the most incredibly soft coat you ever came across in your life. And they're the bad men use them to make fur coats and scarves and things like that. They're adorable little things.
Yeah, very cute.
We shifted to them today.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And the difference, what difference do you hope the website's going to make to what you're doing?
To make it, the organising the transport runs is quite crazy. We're at about 260 members at the moment, and if we post up a run on, we've been doing it all on Facebook. Yeah. We post up a run, we'll get 20 replies. We'll say we need it for Friday, and there's 4 dogs. We'll get 20 replies. Most of them will be along the lines of, I can do it Saturday, I can do it Tuesday, I can do I can do Portlaoise to Dublin, and so on. And we've got to filter our way through all that, and there can be huge amounts of confusion. We organised, one of the girls who's from Germany, she organised a run one day, put the whole thing together. It took her 3 hours with lots of people coming in and out, only to discover that at the end of it she thought Kilkenny was in Galway.
Oh,
so
little things like that might make a difference. Yes, brilliant. Well, listen, thank you very much for talking to us.
More than welcome.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what the website turns out like.
You and me both.
Yeah, I've seen some of the designs. They've got a really interesting way of looking at it, don't they? Yeah.
I like the way it's a tricky one to explain.
Yep.
But they caught it on fairly quick and saw immediately where our problems were lying.
And do you know what the website address is going to be?
almosthome.ie.
Thanks very much, sir.
Thank you.